From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big morning of early mornings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. In this recording, we go over that $3.5 trillion recon passed. And the incredible great news as an additional $25,000 of checks direct to you could be added. I go over all the incredible details. Cluster number 1 passed, hazard pay, and cluster number 2 passed, including home repairs. Cluster number 3 passed with a world exclusive about the Medicare benefit eligibility age being dropped. Checks staying in there not being removed, so says the Democrats, and that duration and taxes will be changed. But now them saying they'll be adding in an additional $25,000 of checks directly to you. What is this? I have all the incredible details in this recording. We'll be cutting back over to that IRS monthly stimulus check that the Democrats represent. They're adding in there. We'll be cutting over to the big exciting details about student loan debt forgiveness. Now more being forgiven. Whoa, what happened there? The president's approval ratings dropping as people are not hearing about the recon enough. And then a big surprise as third stimulus is paying out more money. This stimulus is just around the corner with that SSI and SSDI reform. We got a big early morning broadcast because the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and the deliciousness starts right now on Early Mornings LA. Good early morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day across the states. In this early morning's broadcast, we go over all the incredible great news with that shocker of an additional $25,000 of stimulus direct payments coming to you in this recon being proposed to be added. What's going on? We'll go over all the clusters that have been passed in that subcommittee. Hazard pay, home repairs, a big exclusive about Medicare, and that everything's staying in there, not being removed. Then Chuck Schumer's office saying he is inserting a monthly stimulus check provision. Wow. We'll go over that, plus the student loan debt forgiveness, breaking news overnight, the latest details about why the president's poll ratings are dropping dramatically because people do not know what is in the recon, the big money that's coming out under third stimulus still, and then the big money proposed under fifth stimulus. Remember, this recon that's passed so far is about $15,000 for you, but with $25,000 on top of that, wow, it's getting delicious. And this is Early Mornings LA. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. You ain't going to see the breadth of this reporting anywhere across the planet. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Barrel, Calcino, VIP. When third stimulus passed earlier this year, I said, I think I can get you about $15,000 from third stimulus. I now look at the fourth stimulus so far past those clusters 1, 2, and 3 in that subcommittee of the House. It looks like it's at least $15,000 I can get you under this fourth stimulus recon as well. But that's just the start because there's more money that's being proposed to be added in there. Let's cut to the first cluster of checks that are in that recon pass in that subcommittee. Here we go. Hazard pay and $4,000 of elder care. Hazard pay, they got that in there by expanding the earned income tax credit, broaden the eligibility so that more essential workers qualify for it and get more money. Then $4,000 a year for elder care, huge. Then up to $4,000 a year for young children's care. Then they got home repairs in there as well. If you live in a low-income community, federal government will give you free money to make repairs to the home. Then grants the college student to them directly to the university, and then the Pell's grant made tax-free. $51,000 of monthly stimulus checks got in there as well. The CTC broadened the eligibility and expanded the payouts up to $300 a month, every year, to up to 18 years per child If the household is low income, that is $51,000 a child. Then they got money in there for electric bikes and cars, all U.S. auto manufactured. First, up to 15% of the purchase price of a new electric bike picked up by the federal government. Then $7,500 to you to purchase a new electric car. Then a little bit more if it's for business use, a little bit more for personal use. Wow. And the second, we're going to go to the second and third cluster of checks in this $3.5 trillion recon that all valued about at least $15,000 for most viewers of this channel on average. But guess what? $25,000 is being proposed to go on top of that. What's going on? Let me go over all the details starting right now. This shocker came out of nowhere. And there's a reason why you watch this channel, because this is really not even covered anywhere in print media, broadcast media. No one even talks about this. Well, $25,000. I think we will talk about it because there's a lot of money. Maxine Waters, Democrat of California. Raphael Warnock, you remember him, the Democrat out of Georgia. And you also know Sherrod Brown, Senate Banking Chair, Democrat out of Ohio, proposed legislation yesterday that would add a provision to the recon that would pay you cash up front up to $25,000 to go buy a house. This is huge. This is not a check on the back end. This is a check on the front end to go buy a new house up to $25,000. Eligibility is a new first-time home buyer. Wow. Competing legislation also proposed yesterday from Ron Wyden, and that would be 15,000 for tax credit on the back end. I like, obviously, the first one because it's on the front end. Wow. $25,000. There we go. That's on top of a recon that pays about at least $15,000 for most of this channel. Let's go to the second cluster of checks, and here we go. Home repairs and paid leave. Now, what's important to remember is that the recon is for everyone. Single individuals, married couple, red states, blue states, nationwide. Everyone qualifies for this recon, which is not pandemic related. They start with paid family leave and paid medical leave in the second cluster passed in that $3.5 trillion recon. What are these? Well, paid family leave. You have to stay home because your wife is pregnant. Paid medical leave. You have to stay home because your son broke his leg. How much? A lot. Up to $75,000 or more per year. That would be $1,700 a week. Split in half. $35,000 annual salary, that would be $800 a week, split in half. $15,000 annual salary, about $400 a week. Those are third stimulus numbers. Wow. Then they got money in there also for childcare programs, household tax credits, and then money for seniors like dental, vision, and hearing. More about that in the third cluster. And then they got money in there to weatherize your home. Definitely need to weatherize the home, especially if the moderate Democrats are on the roof. I always say, keep the moderate Democrats out of your house. And wherever possible, keep them out of the Senate as well. There we go. We got other checks in this second cluster, like pre-kindergarten and tuition-free community college. Definitely needed for the person who wants to take the class called What the World is LATE Saying 101. It's for people who just say it's just a foreign language. Whatever he's saying, it just sounds like a foreign language. Now you can be fluent in the foreign language called Los Angeles with the class LA 202. There we go. In a second from now, we're going to go to the third cluster check. Third clusters of checks. But boy, what is Congress doing? Nancy Pelosi and the President of the United States have set a date. Your recon will be called for a vote by October 31st, which of course is Halloween. And over the weekend, people just loved removing my preposition for the sentence. You said on Halloween? But that's Halloween. No, I said by Halloween. But they can't vote on Halloween. I said by Halloween. Yeah, they can't vote on Halloween because they're not in costume, unless they're always in costume. Is that really their hair, or is that a San Francisco hairstyle? We will never know. There you go. It's by Halloween. And there with 20 days to go, 19 days to go, let's get ready and go right into that third cluster of checks. And here we go. The third cluster of checks are seniors and free internet with a big world exclusive I'm going to show you for the first time on Early Mornings LA. Free school meals for all, checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, checks for farmers, checks for free internet, checks for workers, checks for seniors like dental checks, vision checks, hearing care checks, and lowering the eligibility age for Medicare. And that brings us to that world exclusive. Bob's Casey's office is the source of this information to one view of this channel. This channel has exclusively heard that the proposal in the recon will be dropping the Medicare eligibility age from 65 to 60. You're hearing it for the first time on this channel. on Early Mornings LA. There you go. Two of the checks in this third cluster. The present particularly likes, and I like because they're instant savings to you. The first one is cheaper prescription medication. How does this work? You go to the pharmacist, you say, "Hello, Mr. Pharmacist, I have a really bad headache." Really? Listen to too many moderate Democrats, LALATE? Yeah. How did you know? Do you have anything for that, Mr. Pharmacist? I do. Seats for stimulus. No, I mean a prescription. Oh, yeah, that'd be $40. You take two $20 bills out of your wallet. Then when you go to refill the prescription, then suddenly it's $20. Minced instantly, slashing the price of prescriptions so that there's more money saved in your wallet overnight. Then on the back end, they're also going to give you free internet. They're going to give fortunes to cities, counties, and states so that they're going to offer free internet companies. All you have to do is ask for the username and password. What is it? The username is lobster McConnell sauce. And the password is deliciousness. Well, maybe not so delicious. There you go. In a second, we'll be going over how do they add stuff into a recon? How do they take stuff out of a recon? But first, let's turn to those IRS monthly stimulus checks. And going into last Friday, one viewer called up Chuck Schumer's office. And Chuck Schumer's office, after that viewer advocated, said, yes, monthly stimulus check provision is going in there. This is not an unusual circumstance because Debbie Applegate's message was repeated by Donnie's wife the week before. Donnie's wife the week before called up and advocated to Chuck Schumer's office, and Chuck Schumer's office said, yes, it's going in there. Now let's understand how they do this. A recon has several steps. Currently, the recon pass in a subcommittee, $3.5 trillion, is a package. It's not a bill, and it's not the final item at all. They said they can add stuff in there, and they represent they're not going to take anything out. Where does it go next? It goes to the House floor. Then you see a House bill. Not the end of the equation, because the House bill can be modified by House members, AOC and Omar. Then not part of the final equation either, because then it goes over to the Senate. And the two final days are called the Senate Vote-a-Rama. The last people to make changes to whatever's floating around are the senators. Who determines and who governs the Vote-a-Rama? Chuck Schumer. Who determines when things are called for a vote in the Vote-a-Rama? Chuck Schumer. Who determines what time and when it's called for a vote? Chuck Schumer. And who has said twice in less than 7 days he's adding a monthly stimulus check provision in there? Chuck Schumer's office. Wow, this is big. And that is why advocacy starts here. And if you missed it over the weekend, this is what happened. Bernie Sanders' top aide in D.C. tells a viewer of this channel that Congress is all talking about this channel and talking about you. They have never seen advocacy like this channel, which they have now received over 1 million calls to Bernie Sanders' office from this channel. This is what's going on, and this is from a top aide. This is not a secretary. This is not a staffer. This is not the guy that buys them the purple shirts to host the TV show. No, this is a top aide in Sanders' office. And the top aide had a conversation with a viewer's channel, and the viewer then relayed to me what the message said. The viewer writes, Sanders' top aide said that through Friday, they had received nearly 1 million contacts from the people of LA, calls from the people of LA and Purple Power. The advocacy is making waves to the halls of Congress. This is the first time that many of these congressional offices and their staff and these elected officials have seen and truly heard from the people. But now they not only have heavy hearts, but a renewed sense of urgency to help out for us so that we get our good work. Our advocacy has been so strong and so heartfelt and so polite, and not just for ourselves, but also for the communities. What's important to understand is that everyone has now taken note of what is in the recon and what is not in the recon. And you can see in the second half of this video that there's a lot of lobbyists that have stepped forward to add stuff in the recon. We're our own lobbyists. That is why these legislators from Coons, Sanders, Casey, and Warren have represented the viewers of this channel. Your advocacy is working. They're adding it in there. They represent. I got more about these incredible details coming up after the commercial break. But first, here's a little bit about the community page and how to get the big money on the third stimulus. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as Early Mornings LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Early Mornings LA, because it's the toast is toast and the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here, and boy, $25,000 could be here as well. The heat is on with items to be added to that recon, and $25,000 to go buy a house. That was something that no one saw coming. These are the details you're only going to see on Early Mornings LA. In the second half of this video, we'll go over more about these monthly stimulus checks and what the Democrats represent across the board. This is on top of a recon that will be paying viewers this channel about $15,000 just to start. Well, we're just getting started, and we got a lot coming up in the second half of this video. Plus the exciting details of third stimulus and also fifth stimulus. It's a big morning, and the heat is on, and so is hopefully some bacon. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers to YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcium VIP. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto. Then at 7 o'clock is Morning's Countdown. Then at 9, Mornings LALATE live on air. You don't want to miss a single thing across the board. And with that, let's go into the big surprise that no one saw coming, which is that you are making big waves and you are making a big impact. The impact is felt in this incredible new message from Bernie Sanders' office to a viewer to this channel. In this message written by a viewer, the viewer explains that the top aide says that congressional offices have never seen advocacy like this. Now understand, no one is stepping forward to advocate for you except us. We, as the whole Purple Power family, have stepped forward to advocate for inclusion of items across the board. And that's why Congress is talking about you and this channel on a regular basis. There's a series of issues that are really floating around. One of them, the first one, is that Sanders' office and these other offices like Warren are aware of this channel and the breadth of coverage of what's in this recon. I tell you everything that's in this recon. I show you how to get the money in this recon. You're going to get about $15,000. I'm going to show you how to get all this big money in this recon before we even get to the stimulus checks. And this is sort of a problem that the president's had, because guess what? His poll ratings are falling dramatically. And they say it's accredited to the fact that no one knows what's in this recon. Not my problem, broadcast media's problem. They're not covering the recon. A new series of quotes released today, including Democrat strategist Simon Rosenberg and also another guy named Longwell, says the president's decline is alarming. It's very serious. And another one says it's because no one knows what's in it. Wow. And this is why Sanders' office has really liked you and liked this channel's coverage, because I'm showing you all the big money in there. Now, here's what's also at issue, is that whatever's in the recon, people are trying to take things out of it. People are trying to protect what's in the recon. Last weekend, we had Maxine Waters, who's a progressive, saying, I'm worried that my money that I have allocated, my program in the recon, may get removed. What is it? $300 billion for rent assistance. Third stimulus had only $46 billion. This is $300 billion. She's worried it's going to get removed. That's why she stepped forward and tried to advocate for its protection. And another person, Lisa Rice, president and CEO of the National Housing Alliance, says, All these coalitions of industry groups are beating down the door of the White House to make sure their key provisions stay in the recon. Who's battling for ours? Us. That's what we're doing. We're advocating here. And that advocating started 8 weeks ago. We're advocating as much like a lobbyist that are battling for stuff in that recon for restaurants or airlines. We're lobbying for our inclusion of our items. And it was 8 weeks ago I said pick up the phone and advocate. And WR did. Picked up the phone and called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's oldest confidant, advocate for stimulus check inclusion. And Coons' office said, yes, we'll be doing it. Then 3 weeks ago, I showed you a series of exclusives on this channel. One, I told you that the House subcommittee would be writing the recon. They did, led by Sheila Jackson on that Saturday night. Second, I told you that the House would vote first in the subcommittee. They did, led by Sheila Jackson that Saturday night. Passed the recon, $3.5 trillion in the subcommittee. Number 3, I told you Bernie Sanders is important. Oh boy, is he important. He's the chair of the Senate Banking Committee. And 3 weeks ago, he said, unlike prior chairs, I like to get out amongst the people when doing a recon. I say, if you listen to those keywords, he's saying, I want you to tell me what you want in that recon. I want you to advocate to me. So pick up the phone and call, I said to viewers. Lynn Glenn did, Brother Joshua did, and Margaret did. They advocated. And each of them was told, it's going in there, monthly stimulus check. Let's go over what advocacy is, what advocacy isn't, and what is coming up next. Advocacy involves telling your particular story. Everyone has a unique story why they need the money. It may have something to do with your finances or your health or your family or your town or your business. I need it because this is what happened to my legs. I need it. This is what happened to my divorce. This is what happened to my town, my business, my community. Everyone has a unique story. That's what Sanders' office said. They have never seen advocacy like this. That's how I trained you on the subject matter. I said, you need to really talk about you because they won't know your town. They won't know your community, but they can certainly understand you and your unique story. And everyone has a unique story. And that is why it's resonated so well amongst them. Now let's go over what's not advocacy. Am I getting a stimulus check? When am I getting a stimulus check? What day? What day is the vote? When is the bill? What day is the bill? What day is the votorama? What day? What color is the votorama? When is Nancy going to change the hairstyle? That is not that is not advocating. That is Dora the Check Explorer. Or as yesterday I called it, Dora the Bill Explorer. There were some people in the live chat yesterday saying, LALATE. So if Nancy says the vote is by Halloween, so what day is the votorama? Is the votorama the day before, the date out? Is the votorama the 31st or the November 1st? I said, hold up. Don't be doing that. Don't be tracking dates. What hour, the day of the week, of the weekend of Halloween is the Chuck and the Nancy? No. Be focusing your time on advocating. Like Janice, who's picked up the phone. She's never once asked whether it's the 29th or the 30th or the 1st or the 2nd, whatever Nancy's saying, because no one ever understands Nancy. I'm not going to translate Nancy. No one ever understands what Nancy says when she says by October 31st. I said, pick up the phone and advocate. That's what Janice did. She's called 6 offices. But it started with Brother Joshua, Lynn Glenn, and Margaret. They advocated, and Brother Joshua, boy, did he advocate. He's a 2020 volunteer to the community page. Picked up the phone and called Bernie Sanders' office and said, I need it for my family, my church, and my community, and an LALATE. And they said yes. Sanders' office said yes. $1,000 to $1,300, 3 to 6 months. But Sanders' office needs to hear from you. And with that, I said, pick up the phone and advocate. And boy, did you ever. It started with Donnie. You're going to see a series of screen grabs from people posting messages on the channel, in the live chat, or either in private message. And here's Donnie. You just met his wife. Here comes Donnie. I called Bernie Sanders' office, and the secretary said they're doing a forced stimulus check. This is what I need. I told her I need it. My city needs it. I need to progress. I need my water. I need it for everything. And they said they're doing a forced stimulus check. There's Donnie. Advocacy continued day in, day out. Hurricane Tina advocated. Sanders saying, yes, going to do it. Here is Lorica. Called Bob Casey's office, and they said, yes, there are negotiations for it. Here is Lori, who advocated as well. Here is Yaya, who called up Ron Wyden's office, advocated for it, and also for SS200, and Ron Wyden's office said, yes, it's going in there. At that point, I said, you know what? It's telling your story is what's going on. You need to tell your story as many places you can tell your story. That's why Janice has literally called over a half dozen congressional offices, and you should as well. Here is what Will did. He called 3 offices in one day. I called Bernie, Chuck, and Liz, he writes. All 3 of their secretaries confirmed a forced stimulus check. I explained why I need it and why it would make a huge impact on me. And Liz Warren's office said they're doing $1,400 to $1,400 to $2,000, 6 to 12 months. At that point, 1 million of you had called Bernie Sanders' office, and thousands of you were told after you advocated that a stimulus check provision is going in there. You were told that by Coons, Sanders, Warren, Schumer, Casey, and Wyden. And the messages continue to come on in thereafter. Here is the House side. Janice calling over to Jalapal and writing, Jalapal's office confirmed there's a stimulus check. She also said the same thing about Omar's office. Here is Mark, who called over to Pelosi's office, advocated with Pelosi's office, as she said she's doing it, $1,000 to, after the first month, $2,000 for 6 months. And then 1 week ago, it was Donnie's wife to Chuck Schumer, and Schumer's office saying, yeah, he's going to do it. And here comes Debbie Applegate before last weekend to Schumer, Sanders, and Warren, and there you go, advocating and being told it's going in there. What's important to understand is that you have this massive recon, $3.5 trillion. You have people worried provisions that they have in there, like Maxine Waters, $300 billion for rent, would be coming out or being reduced. You have people pushing to put things in there, like Maxine Waters with the $25,000 to go buy a house. So there's a lot of things at flux, and there's lobbyists involved. Well, that's why you have to advocate. You can't sit back, and you also can't focus on voting dates. You have to focus on advocacy. Now remember, the entire recon so far, as it's written, looks like it can get you about $15,000, the average view of this channel, maybe a lot more. Sometimes I undervalue this. I undervalue Thirdson was saying I can get you about $15,000. I've been able to get viewers on average about $40,000. For stimulus, looks like it could be about $15,000 for most viewers' channel just to start. It may be more. We're advocating to put more money in there with those stimulus checks. And those stimulus checks you're advocating needs to continue. Needs to continue until we're to the finish line. And remember, we got 2 opportunities to make changes, House side or Senate side. And the Senate side at the end of the equation is the most important one because of that 2-day vote-a-rama. The House members can literally mess up everything. The House members can literally take care of nothing and simply pass us up 100%. And then the senators can step in at the 11th hour during the vote-a-rama and take care of it for us. So no attention should be spent on only voting dates. No attention should be spent only on bills. Your attention should be on advocacy. And there you go. Meantime, what's this issue that things are coming in and coming out? Let's go over all that because it's very, very elaborate and very fascinating of where this recon is getting modified. Last week, the progressives all said that everything that's in the recon is staying in there, nothing's going to reduce. Will they say the same thing this week? And then the changes they always talked about were duration and taxes. Will they say the same thing this week? Let's go over the details of what this means and how it works. First, the Democrats, progressives, all said last week, if a program's in there, it's staying in there. And if a program's in there, it is not getting watered down. But Maxine Waters went into the weekend saying, I'm worried my program that is in there will get removed. So there's obviously concerns across the board. How can they make the changes? 2 ways for changing duration and also taxes. First one's very easy to go over. Duration. It was the start of last week where I said, hey, you know what? You can change the duration and bring the recon from the 3.5 trillion into the 2 trillion range. And then a few days later, Jalapal said the same thing. Hi, Jalapal. Thanks for watching. No, how did I know that? Pretty easy one to predict. It came from Bernie. In the month of July, Bernie showed us that reducing a duration of a recon saves the price, reduces the price tag. What happened? Bernie Sanders went into the negotiations for the recon before it ever existed, meeting with the Senate Democrats, saying, I want to do a recon. Oh, you do? How much you want to spend, Bernie? $7 trillion. Oh, Bernie, no, we're not doing that. Do something small. Okay, I'll cut it in half, 3.5 trillion. He explained at the time that he didn't cut the programs. He didn't remove a program. He didn't water down a program. He just shortened the duration, the time frame of how long the programs run from many, many years to less years. Here is a mathematical example. This is not how he did it, but here's a mathematical example of how this works then and how it could work going forward. Let's say, for example, He went in asking for 20 years for every program, like $4,000 a year to care for elder care. And then at 7 trillion, they said, no, I'm not going to do it. Okay, I'll do every program at 10 years instead of 20 years. Okay, done, deal. That's 3.5 trillion. Now they're looking at 3.5 trillion. They're saying that's too much. Okay, so let's cut it from 10 years for every program to 5 years for every program. And then suddenly the programs are running 5 years, and that's half of 3.5 trillion. That's 1.7. Every modern Democrat would agree to 1.7. And Bernie Sanders still gets the $4,000 of elder care. It just runs for 5 years, not for 10 years. That's an example of how you cut the duration. Now, the other way they can change things is the tax codes. This is a little strange. There's a big battle over this. First, they're paying for this recon by raising corporate taxes for Fortune 500 companies and raising billionaires' wealth tax. Here is what the battle is over. That if they try to drop the recon price tag, then maybe these tax loopholes they're trying to close up will remain open and not fixed. Interesting. Now, what should you expect this week? With 20 days to go, people are really fighting to get things added in and taken out. We have a recon that has to get shrunk from 3 to something else. Is it shrunk by the duration? Meantime, people are trying to put things into the recon. People who have things in the recon are looking at it saying, maybe my item's going to get removed. So there's a whole battle, and every legislator has different opportunities. They have their own particular program. They may be supporters of the monthly stimulus check for you as well, and then they may have their own programs that are already in there, and they're worried that people are trying to take their programs out. So there's a lot of people pushing and tugging for everything that goes in there. Now let's go over to the big surprise about student loan debt forgiveness. This is a big one. Student loan debt forgiveness was supposed to forgive $50,000, but now incrementally the president's done different parts of it. First, the president initially forgave student loan debt for anyone who became disabled. Then a few days ago, we now learned that the president is now forgiving student loan debt if you became a worker for over 10 years in the public sector, like the state or the county or the federal government, or for any nonprofit if you worked in a nonprofit for 10 years. Now the president is saying he will do student loan debt forgiveness of $10,000. Wow. So we're getting closer and closer on this one as well. Now let's turn to the big exciting details of third stimulus. Third stimulus, when it became law, I said I can get you about $15,000. Well, now I've got the viewers on average about $40,000. So get that pen, paper ready, and cell phone ready. We can get the big money for rent, utilities, food, or internet. We're going to first start with the rent. I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. Reach out to all 6. They have different eligibility. They have different pots of money. Next, get ready for the keywords I say in this video. And number 3, get ready for those nonprofits. First, we're going to go over the rent. You're going to reach out to 6 places for this rent. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city house authority, your county hall, your county house authority, and your state hall and your state house authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage assistance or utility assistance because of COVID. And viewers' rent numbers have gone from this to even more now. Nisi got $20,000 for this channel, Purple Hawk. Elizabeth, $27,000. Now the number has grown to about $40,000. The money for utilities, I want you to get that as well. Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 for utilities. So if you got 5 utility companies, reach out to all 5. Then I want you, as a member of this channel, to read the newsletter, which comes out nightly, and read the part with that Treasury statement. Treasury has now added an additional $13 billion from third stimulus for you to get. I've been telling viewers for over a week to read that Treasury statement before you make the call for the rent and utilities. And this is what Prina did. She writes, "Hey, LALATE, I want to thank you so much. When you mentioned the additional $13 billion, I immediately pounced. I emailed the city of Austin. I applied, and yesterday I got approved for November through January. Now I have an additional $6,000 for 8 months of rent. Thank you." That's how you do it. Third, I want you to get SNAP. SNAP is money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture. And SNAP benefits are deliciousness. Eligibility is easier than a stimulus check. Reach out to Department of Agriculture, and yes, everyone's benefits are going up an average of 25% automatically lifetime nationwide starting in October this month. Here's the numbers for SNAP. And guess what? Mark's brother-in-law was at $21,000. It's going up to $26,000. Needless to say, there's always someone in the live chat who says, I heard Snap doesn't do this. I heard Snap doesn't do that. Untrue, 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 untrue. Everyone's benefits in every single state for people who are on Snap, were on Snap, new on Snap, old on Snap, just everyone are going up an average of 25% nationwide lifetime. Finally, I want you to get combo items across the board. And those combo items look like this. People like Mark getting $51,000, Lorraine $100,000, $105,000, heading to $110,000. Then we turn to the nonprofits. Wow, those nonprofits. They pay for the same items that the federal government pays under third stimulus, but with different eligibility. If you have an eligibility problem, reach out to the nonprofits. Here are the 5 nonprofits: United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. They're also featured in the newsletter. What's great to know is that they do different eligibility. So if you have an eligibility problem, reach out to the nonprofits. Number 2, they also pay for items that are not covered under third stimulus. And these are great items, like homeless people in the shelter sometimes, clothing sometimes. They also help with small appliances like furnaces, portable heaters, broken windows, and small refrigerators. Viewers have gotten this from this channel. Also clothing, and sometimes just different things, totally random across the board. Reach out to the 5 nonprofits. They are United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, and Catholic Charities. Next, the unemployment benefits. First, the refund check from your state due to overpayment and computer error. It's landing. Average payment is about $2,000 to $5,000. Reach out to your state. And then the overpayment, and then the 2020 unemployment benefits you pay taxes on. Average payment is $2,000 to $1,200. Reach out to irs.gov, do a transcript search, and it generally works. If you got any of the sums of money like Margaret Cotter and Michael got for the IRS refund, post it in the live chat, because when you do, you inspire other people. Finally, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? As soon as third stimulus became law, I said, I can get you about $15,000 from third stimulus. I'm still getting viewers a lot of money. The average viewer is about $40,000. I had a few weeks ago where 3 viewers started the week at 0. By Wednesday, they got $40,000. One of the viewers by the weekend continued, got 7 items and $80,000. His name is Johnny. I want you to get all these big sums of money. If you're not getting these big sums of money, you're defeating the purpose of why third stimulus was passed, for you to get these monies. Not difficult, all detailed in the newsletter. The newsletter comes out Monday through Friday from me to you on this channel at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's sent out by the YouTube alert system, done by me, and also the LALATE alert system, which is, by its way, totally free. It's also in the description of this video. Sign up for that for the membership of this channel, so you get that newsletter and you get the big sums of money under third stimulus. As we look at fourth stimulus, I look at it and it looks like it's about $15,000 just to start for you that should qualify for under fourth stimulus. Under third stimulus, I said about the same amount, and I was wrong. Viewers are now getting about $40,000. So become a member today. And with that, let's go now to fifth stimulus for just a blink of an eye. Fifth stimulus heats up later this year with raising up and reforming the SSI and SSDI system. They represent, first, they're going to fix the system by raising up your benefits if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits. Then they're going to apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark, inflation. Where is it going? 2 months ago, I said it was going to go to 5%. Now Wall Street's saying maybe it is already 5%. Yeah. So it's going up very, very high. Second, I said it was going to be transitory or temporary. Now it looks like maybe it's not temporary. So first they raise your benefits up, then they apply a benchmark. And if it's 5% inflation, it means your benefits go up 5%, not just next year, but lifetime. Because once your benefits go up, they never go down. They're going to move the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law, since you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. Now you'll be able to have some muddled purple in your hand. Muddled? No, just purple. Then they're going to move the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away, and love is going to win, and you'll be able to do a pair dance at your own wedding and get married like Rob and Sandy and no longer fear loss of benefits. And finally, what's important to understand is that all these equations are happening all at the same sort of time. Third stimulus, fifth stimulus, and fourth stimulus. Recap. First, third stimulus available right now. Get these sums of money. It defeats the purpose not to get the money. When the federal government says, here's money for you, you're not getting it, go get it. When third stimulus passed, I said, don't be dependent upon a $1,400 stimulus check. I can get you $15,000 because $15,000 is a lot more than $1,400. And boy, did viewers hear me well. 40, 50, 80,000. $80,000 for Johnny, $51,000 for Mark. Mark's two family members, two neighbors. 100,000. Johnny, same thing, 100,000. Lorraine, 120,000. Viewers are getting big sums of money under third stimulus. It's your day to get that money as well. Fifth stimulus heats up later this fall. We'll follow and track it as well. And then fourth stimulus. So far a recon procedural that looks like it will pay viewers of the channel about $15,000. In addition to that, the battle still to add provisions like the new proposal to add $25,000 to purchase new home, the battle to add monthly stimulus checks, the battle to keep things that are in there, and the battle not to have things watered down either. The situation's is still in flux. With 20 days to go, remember, tow truck passed over the finish line. That's recon procedural. They voted on the House, they voted on the Senate. It's done. That's law. Tow truck over the finish line. Tow hitch. They attached the tow hitch to the back of the tow truck. They put a $3.5 trillion recon in there, but that tow hitch is not full yet. They still can add more things in there, and they represent they are. You got a highway with that tow truck on the tow hitch heading to the finish line, but other vehicles are trying to cut in front of you. We have lobbyists for different unions all trying to battle to get things in the recon. They don't care about you. They care about their industry and what they represent for that industry. We represent ourselves. Don't sit back and be passive. Get in that tow truck, get in that driver's seat, and get in that tow truck with the tow hitch and all the monies you deserve over the finish line. And join me next with Overnight's Crypto, currently playing on this channel. Then we're back with Morning's Countdown at 7 a.m. And then Morning's LA live on air at 9 a.m. Big slate of news all today and all week long. You don't want to miss anything across the board. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family where people are getting big sums of money daily and will continue to get big sums of money all week long. And I want that person to be you. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful morning. I hope the weather is good where you are. Post in the live chat where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. We have a big day ahead of us with so much breaking news across the board. And with that, the toast is toast and the butter is buttering. And I'll see you next on LA.